You're doing color wrong in your collection.
Color enhances the beauty.
You don't know how to develop a beautiful color palette that taps into your customers' emotions, what they want from your brand. On this episode, we'll be looking at how you can articulate a clear and concise color strategy, how these colors work between each other to enhance one another to get the correct color mood across. It gives them the most amount of mass marketability in terms of how each product and each collection or each set within your collection relates to one another and how they can be worn with one another, to encourage customers to buy more, to buy sets, and to purchase more frequently, because when they get one color, they want to get another color and a third and a fourth and a fifth because they want to complete the set. So how do you do all this? Well, tune into this episode because you're about to find out. Number one is observe your customer. Create a customer avatar profile to clearly articulate who your customer is, what sort of messaging that they'll respond to, how they wish to portray themselves, and ask yourself, does this color palette match my customers' moods, my customers' aspirations for who they wish to be? If the answer is yes, move forward. If no, try to evaluate what other set of colors still gives you the thematic representation that you want. Second is you need to identify the color scale. The color scale is the proportion by which you use a specific color within a product. If a product is predominantly black, but the color that you want to represent in that product is yellow, and you only use it on the trims, the cuffs, maybe the hood lining, then the color scale here is very disproportional. You have more black than yellow. You're bringing in your yellow in a very subtle way. But if you have that same product and it's all yellow, here the color is being represented at a much larger scale. So both items are representing the color yellow, but depending on your customer's tastes, their preferences, the specific collection that you're creating, the color scale may be larger or more subdued to actually bring into effect the appropriate color scale that's going to get customers to purchase. Next, you need to define and articulate the color relationships. For most brands and most collections, designers will essentially pick and choose their core fabric selection. They'll know that across this collection of 20 pieces, we're going to have 5 to 6 key fabrics. And then they'll look at which core colorways that they want to include, sort of the foundational or the color foundation of this collection. These colors tend to be seasonal, so they tend to also transit between season to season in very subtle ways, but different seasons will have different core colors associated with them. Perhaps in the autumn months or in the winter months, you might have marigold colors, olive colors, burnt browns, clay colors, and then perhaps in the summer, more saturated colors. But at the same time, your core colors remain consistent between season and season. And then you look at how do your thematic colors blend in with your core colors or your foundational colors. So if you plan on bringing in volts, how do these colorways represent and tie into your core collection theme? You'll find that some designers are very good at sticking with traditional color palettes from season to season with only slight tweaks and changes. And then other designers, they're always looking at trends. They're always looking specifically at how they can switch up their color palette to appeal to the current consumer of the time. Next, you definitely need to consider the thematic and the contextual representation of your colors. If you're creating a theme for your collection, color plays a core role in how that theme comes across and is translated to your customers. Color is the first thing that your customers are going to see. So understanding, does my color palette get the message across of my theme correctly and accurately is number one. Two, you need to look at how different colors are interacting within one another. In this example, I have a earthy collection that's meant to encourage people to go outdoors, to be one with nature, to be more serene and peaceful. So perhaps here I'm using subdued earthy colors that are desaturated. These are questions that you need to ask yourself, and the answers to those questions will allow you to consistently create a more homogeneous looking color palette. Last but not least, where and in which context should you select such colors? Let's just say you have a very varied color palette where sometimes in some scenarios there may seem to be gaps in your color selection. You need to find the specific colorways that tie in or bring these gaps closer together. Well guys, that is it. That is a wrap on this episode. If you guys have specialized questions on how you can enhance your color palette for an upcoming collection to make sure that it's trendy, that it's on point, check the link in the description. We can hop on a one-on-one consultation call. What I'll do is I'll study your brand. Maybe I'll look at existing products that you have or brands that you look up to, and I can give you specific recommendations. So if you're interested, check the link in the description. Slots are going fast, so make sure to not miss out. Guys, from the very bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of FittDesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.